right, good. So this is Ray. I got KP over here. How you doing, guys?
Doing good.
Hey, everyone.
All right, so we'll get started here in about 7.5 minutes.
Okay.
And all right, so let me get you to Dan. Give me a count of 5.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, don't change anything. Sean, give me a count of 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, that's good as well. All right, so that's what we'll do. All right, in about 7 minutes, what we'll do is we'll come on, play our music, intro music, of course, do a little jig, and then we'll bring you guys in. How do y'all want us to, you want to say Dan Morgan and Sean Taylor of the group?
Yeah, SuperNatural Media.
Right. And out of Harrisburg.
We're actually out of 2 different locations, but
That works. Make it easy.
All right. So, well, with SuperNatural Media, we'll just say, guys, with SuperNatural Media, tonight we'll be discussing several different things, of course. I got the book. Davey got the book. We did some reading on it.
good.
We'll talk about that a little bit and get you to explain what you mean by double bind, right?
That's right.
All right. And both of you guys are pastors ordained.
Mm-hmm. I'm no longer in that position, but I was.
Okay. All right. I would just say pastors. It's okay, just because you're not doing it there. You still are. Yeah. All right. And let me see here. So we got the book. Right. And double blind ghost box, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And y'all investigated several different places, and we'll talk about that a little bit, get your background. How many team members do you have?
I believe we are up to 12 now. There's a lot of people on our team now.
Today I had a weekday crew, a weekend crew, and a review crew.
Yeah, usually it's a weekend crew that we have.
Yeah.
You know, we have so many people that are from all over the different areas. I mean, we've got members in Maryland, Oklahoma, Virginia, West Virginia.
Okay. All right. We'll ask, what kind of, we'll get around to asking, what type of positions they hold, what their duties are, that kind of thing on a few of them. I need to get a grip from the other states. I'm going to listen to y'all tonight. Team members,
Yeah.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, yeah. On our site, I've got 17 people listed, with a wide variety of positions, obviously.
Okay. All right. You guys say something again?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Good. Dan?
Testing 1, 2.
All right. You can speak up a little bit, Dan, or into the mic a little better.
All right. Is that better? Testing 1, 2.
Yeah, that's better. All right. Got about 3.5 minutes. All righty. Here. Oh, yeah, make sure you try to keep the background noise down, that kind of thing. And
Hey guys, keep that party down.
And yeah, watch your language. And
I tell you, that dirty pastor.
Yeah, I can tend to go into a tirade now and then. But, yeah, we'll have some fun. And, you know, we may just throw the question out there. We may ask for your individual opinion on things.
Okay.
And when we do try not to talk over each other. We'll try not to do the same. And that'll be about it, I reckon.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, I think so.
Now, Ray, at the same time, while we've got this going, there are Dan and I are running the Google Hangouts. So with that being said, we have several people that are in a chat watching and listening to what we're saying here. So they actually may even have a variety of questions too. I would imagine that Dan and I will probably deal with those questions in the chat itself, and we'll focus most of our attention on everything that you guys are saying and asking. But I did want you to be aware that that's what's going on too.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we got, we also, on our radio website, we have a chat.
Yeah, chat going there.
Okay, good. Excellent. All right. That's very good.
Yeah, this is being streamed live, so it's going to automatically be streamed live on Spreaker, on our website, on our app. And so if they go to our website, they can watch and listen there.
Oh, good. Okay.
And we have chat as well.
After the show, it goes right to our app, and it'll be there definitely.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So you can go back and listen to it later.
All right, give me another quick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Dan.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, try it again.
1, 2, 3,
1,
4,
2,
5.
3, 4, 5. Okay, Sean.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, good job. All right,
I'm going to give you thumbs up, Big Ray.
all right, here we
That's
go.
right.
Everybody stand by, quiet on the set. We'll be going live in about 30 seconds. And welcome back to RIP Paranormal Talk Radio. I'm still Big Ray.
And I'm KB.
And not only do we talk the talk, we walk the walk because
We're veteran investigators of the paranormal.
couple of us.
Yeah, a couple of us. Anyway, Big Ray, I know you and I were talking about it earlier. We want to talk about wish well to all the people in Florida.
Yeah, bad situation. It looks like it's going to wrap around and come back and do it again.
Yeah, it always does. And you know what? You got to the studio earlier tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, it did.
What I can't do, guess what I saw?
Oh, Gilbert.
Bob. Yeah.
What are they doing?
They were using a backhoe.
Well, what are they doing with the back end now?
They were digging in the swamps.
Oh, well, it's supposed to rain a lot.
Yeah, well, I asked him why he was digging. He said that him and Gilbert had an idea that he wanted to dig a hurricane shelter. I said, well, it looks like the more you dig, the harder you dig, the more you dig, it's water filling up the shelter. Yeah. He said then you have a problem with that. What they will do is dig it deep enough and pour some cement in it.
Oh, okay.
And they will block it off like that. Perfect. So I guess we end up taking it to the hospital for the night.
Yeah. 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 As long as we can get out, we'll be okay. Well, we got good insurance on. They're going to live.
Right about that.
So let's see here. So we did the EA Paragon down to Ferry Plantation a couple weeks ago. Went really well. They actually have some events coming up last weekend of this month, Friday and Saturday. If you go to bigrandkd.com, scroll down to the events area, and you look there, it'll say that Ferry Plantation. Heather Moore's phone number's there, or you can go to Facebook, contact her there. But I think you're going to be able to stay all night for at least a couple of hours throughout the investigation. We were down there. It's very haunted, of course. So I would suggest if you want to go anywhere in it only took us about an hour, 15 minutes to get down there for the Richmond area. So you can get down there, hang out with Heather and their crew down there for the night, and Amy and those guys, and have a real spooky situation. That part of the property has an Indian Native American burial ground, and it was the first the original part of the house is the first courthouse in Prince Anne County. It's got a hanging tree out back. There were several poor unfortunates that they were not so good guys. I guess had their neck scratched out.
Like you said, the big old limbs on it. Actually, you can see the rope that was embedded back in the day. That I guess when they took the rope off, it just cut it into the tree, and you can see the marks of the hook piece.
So you can do that. Then there's a lot of different places around Richmond as well in the area. You can go to do some haunted tours of Williamsburg, Jamestown. They're going to have events down there. So we got some events we're going to be doing, so just stand by for those. On the show tonight, we have a couple pastors, one by the name of Dan Morgan, the other one Sean Taylor. They're of SuperNatural Media. They've written a book, and we're going to be the double-blind host box, and we're going to discuss what that does, how you use it. Got some questions for them, and we're going to have them tell us about some of the investigations they've done. And I'm going to tell them the story because it's kind of weird. I was speaking to one of our listeners today, and she told me a very spooky tale about the Harrisburg, Virginia area that's pretty wild. So welcome aboard, Dan and Sean. I'm still Big Ray.
Yeah, I'm still KB.
Yeah. So Dan, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get Sean to do the same thing.
All right. My name's Dan Morgan. I've had several years, and I've had several supernatural experiences when I was younger, and also became science at that point. So John and I, we had gotten together a few years ago. Actually, several years ago. I'm not sure, 10, 12. I'm not sure where we're up to. And had decided that we wanted to investigate this from a different perspective. Both of us being Christians, and we felt like we needed to kind of reconcile those two belief systems and try to figure out how they could coexist. So we, about 10, 12 years ago, we decided to form a team and just start investigating. And so I enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun. So I've been doing it for quite a while, and we're glad to be on the show. We appreciate it.
Hey, that was great. And Sean, tell us, let people know a bit about yourself and what you do, and all that.
Yeah, sure. So, my name is Sean Taylor, the co-founder of SuperNatural Media. In 1992, I had a near-death experience, and in that experience, I accepted the Lord. And then when I came back from that, I really just wanted to understand what in the world happened to me from a supernatural perspective. And so I started studying all kinds of different religions and all that kind of jazz, until eventually I had a family and a job and got into science and statistics and mathematics and all that kind of stuff. And then eventually I met Dan, and we really hit it off very well. We were like-minded guys. And at the time, supernatural, paranormal type shows were on television. And he and I were frankly kind of fed up with a secular perspective on all this supernatural stuff that was going on out there. So we said, look, we ought to start a team with a Christian perspective and look into some of this stuff. And we did. And, we got our minds blown because, next thing we know, not only did we have paranormal activity, but we had a whole ministry explode out of this. So the rest is history.
Okay. All right. So both of you went the Christian route.
Yeah. You know,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
not that everyone on our team is Christians. We have plenty of people that are on our team who are not Christians, and they challenge us with a lot of different points of view, and we have, you know, candid conversations.
Right. Yeah, because, you know, we don't talk about religion a lot, but I'm agnostic. TV's Christian, and you know, so I kind of get where TV, you know, is coming from, because we all know the Dead Sea. TV's kind of old, so old that the Dead Sea back then was known as the Sick Sea. That's how far KV goes back, and so I think that is, you know, gives him a first-hand look at the Christian perspective, being around so long.
Yeah, it really does. And I tell you what, Dan and Sean, if y'all hear anybody moaning later, it's not ghosts, it's big rays. I'm about to cut it with a rusted butter knife, so if you hear him moaning, that's just his lockjaw settling in, so it'll be okay.
So, yeah, we're all going to ER with Bob and Gilbert.
Yeah. I think all you guys down in the back of the girls. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. So, well, let's get the double-blind ghost spots out of the way. What is it? How does it work? How did you come up with it?
Okay. Yeah, good. Go ahead.
Yeah, basically, most everybody has seen a ghost box in one form or another. They come in several forms. Frank box is one, but some of the more popular ones are what's called shack hacks, because it's a lot cheaper and easier to build. Basically, what a shack hack is a radio. Certain radios that can be altered so that radio chatter, for example, if you're in your car and you hit the seat button, it goes and it flips through all these channels to find a strong signal and stops. In a shack hack, once you do the alterations to it, it runs through the channels where you can actually hear it's running and never stops. So it just continues to chatter. So the theory is that what happens is the spirit, much like an EVP, but just a little bit different. The spirits can actually use that chatter and actually cross on the radio, and you can actually hear them. There's several of the teams on TV that use it. One of the differences that we decided when we first watched it and said, okay, we want to try to use this. We're big debunkers, you know, we're big on the science part of it, and we want to, you know, we kind of want to vet all of our processes. And so what we did was we decided that we needed to find a way that we could do it, because the idea is if you've got a speaker on your table and it's going through this chatter, and you ask a question, what color is the sky? Everybody's going to be hearing for blue. They all want to hear that, and so that could easily distract. Well, so what we decided we wanted to do was try to eliminate that. So we created the double blind process, which we have a listener, which most of the time is Sean. We have other members of our team that does that as well, but it began with Sean doing the listening. That he actually puts headphones in and turns the noise up to a level where he cannot hear any of the questions being asked in the room. Then he also closes his eyes, makes sure that there's no indicators as to even when a question is being asked. And what that eventually did was it allowed us to ask questions, and then he would say a response that he was in the radio with no idea what question had been asked, or even if a question had been asked. And we thought it was going to be quickly debunked, that we were just going to move on. And we were very surprised when we started getting responses. And even more surprised when our EVP and EMF detectors were backing up what we were getting with the ghost box. So that's essentially what a ghost box is. It's what the double blind is, and that's how we use it.
Okay, yeah. I actually found out about the Hack Shack several years ago and modified one. It is, I can't remember the model name, but hacked it. There's a video. Unfortunately, the way YouTube was at the time, it wouldn't take their show name, it took my name. newer version of that radio. The old one has a pin.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to bend down. The new one has ribbons. I bought one of those myself to see if I could do it, and I'm not that inclined to be able to do that, unfortunately. So I'll see if I can get with that guy and see if we can figure out how the new ones do. But yeah, we have had very limited positive response using the Hack Shack. The one time that I remember that it worked very well, KB, was when we were down at the Edgewood Plantation. Yeah. And they came on there. We asked a question. Actually, it said Tracy's name twice and something else. We got the video. If you watch the Edgewood Plantation video on our website, then you'll hear the Hack Shack working there. Now, I thought of something years ago with this here, because we say there's, and y'all might have a different take on it. Everybody does. Like we say there's ghost, spirit, poltergeist. There are entities we can interact with. There's the kind that ought to be an imprint on time, a recording, so to speak, that we can't necessarily talk to. Have you guys figured out a way to be able to contact that recorded entity, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're talking about like residual haunts and so forth. As a matter of fact, yeah, and those are actually very irritating, because when you think about what it is that we do, we're trying to prove that you can have a two-way conversation with something that you can't see, right? So that's why we set it up in double blind, where you have a questioner who's asking those questions, and then you have that listener who cannot hear what those questions are, so all they can do is hear what the ghost box is saying, and then they just say what they hear. Well, if it's a residual haunt, the residual haunt's walking around saying all kinds of things, and you're saying it, and everybody else around is going, well, that makes absolutely no sense. And that's obvious, because they can't hear what the questions are, but the residual haunt is basically just going over it. Gettysburg was really bad for that, because all these spirits are basically going through the motions of the war and just saying everything that they were experiencing, but they are in no way interacting with the people that were outside asking questions on the inside. So to answer your question, yes. Do we interact with residuals? We don't, quote, interact. We hear them, and we repeat back whatever it is that they say.
Right. Okay, yeah, because that's a pain in the butt, because, yeah, we did
it is a pain.
We investigated a place down in Petersburg. I think it's around January the 23rd, 28th.
Yeah, it's running time, yeah.
And so supposedly you hear the front door open, several soldiers come walking through the downstairs hallway, go upstairs, close the door behind them. We did that one there. That would be a residual haunt. It would be cool. I hadn't thought about it, but I have put the headset in to listen to see if I could pick up things, because it is kind of hard to hear sometimes, and I got constant ringing in the ears. But we have not done that technique. We'll have to try that out.
Yeah, we had, this was a really neat situation. This was actually some of our very first investigations. This is going way back, but Soldiers Memorial Theater. And in that case, we actually had, and this was on 3 occasions, up in the balcony, you would have an investigator standing up there looking down into the stage area, and a spirit would walk up and whisper, "Watch." And he would do it into the recorders, and then 2 seconds later, you'd hear this, and you'd hear a sound of a 22. And it happens over and over again at roughly the same time of day, and we caught it like several times. So it was one spirit that's interacting with you, telling you, hey, observe this. And then the residual kicks in and happens. Very cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Has nothing to do with Ghostbox, though. It was just cool.
Some of the places that have investigated, and even to this day, it kind of freaks you out a little bit. So does anything like it ever freak you out in your investigation?
that's a good question. I mean, you know, some of the most active places we've been, like you said, we've been to battlefields. One of our team members, Patrick Burke, is actually a battlefield historian, and he's done a lot of research on battlefields, investigations. And now he's part of the team, and so we've been out with him several times. Those have been really interesting. We've had some really interesting experiences on the battlefield. And as far as the creepiest, you know, the scariest, I don't know. To be honest with you, you know, going way back, Soldiers Memorial Theater was probably one of the better ones that we've been to. We've seen some crazy stuff. You know, heard some crazy stuff, you know, all over. But you know, that would probably be I would call the most haunted we've been to, probably.
Yeah, I had both of my legs were grabbed there. Something came up and grabbed both of my legs simultaneously. And, you know, being a young investigator at that time, that was quite shocking because I didn't realize that could happen.
Well, I know for a fact it can happen.
Oh, yeah, I know it can happen now, buddy.
Many years ago, Big Ray and I came with that to the investigation. And something grabbed in my leg. You know, and I moved my leg and was still holding on to it.
Yeah.
It was Big Ray. He fell out and grabbed my leg. He was trying to get up. And that scared me.
Yeah.
But I know things like that can't happen to you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see. I want to go back to that near death. That was you, Sean, with the near death experience.
Yeah. So you know, it's actually a long story. So I want to keep it, you know, to the key points. You know, in the near death experience, I was not saved. You know, I had been a wayward boy, having fun, and being a bad influence on other kids around me. So if your parents would not want your kids to hang out with me. And, you know, I had this near-death experience where I was actually told, hey, I'm sending you to hell. And but he said, I need you to remember my name. And, you know, at that particular moment, I understood, yes, you know, I deserved to go to hell. And so I turned and then started walking down this path into the gates of hell. In a covered area, lots of really strange sounds and all that kind of stuff. I was eventually being ripped to pieces physically by chains, very much like Hellraiser. And I was also going through a life review and remembering all of the things that I had done to other people through their eyes. So I was seeing those interactions not from my perspective as to what I did to them. I saw it from their perspective, from what I did to them, from their perspective. So it was a firsthand account. So I call that the ripple effect. Coming back from that experience, I understand how important all of the interactions that we have are and how our immediate actions have these ripple effects on people throughout their lives and the people's lives that they interact with. But in that, I remembered the name and I fell to my knees, what knees were still left, and I called out Jesus. And when I did, everything stopped and a cold, cool breeze came out, and then, you know, steps appeared and these feet came walking down, and I knew who they were. And I tried to raise my head and I couldn't raise my head. And I was trying so much because I wanted to see his face. And then he told me a whole lot of different things. Basically, he was sending me back. Of course, I accepted immediately. Yes, that is my Lord and Savior. That's Jesus. You know, it's got to be. I accept you. And then I came back. And then I learned all about Christianity, who this guy Jesus was, and all that. Now, yeah, that was almost 20 years ago. So now it's really weird because here we are and ministering to these spirits who are in the exact same situation. They're in this hellish state, and we're telling them, hey, remember the name of Jesus. And when they do, instantaneously they're transformed, and we hear it in the box. And they'll come back and say, I'm seeing my family, and they'll come back and you'll hear angel sounds and singing and amazing things. We have lots of videos that go over this over and over and over again. So it's just ironic that in my own life, I had the near-death experience, and here we are today doing the exact same thing for other people.
All right, now, KB, I got a point I want to make here in a minute, but one is that I've heard very few near-death experiences where the person actually experienced a negative view of the other side, but yours being one of a few. But KB has.
Yeah, it is actually. I've heard that too. It's very rare and very disconcerting because they are so rare. And in my case, it was horrifying. It haunts me to this day.
Right. So KB had one. I've come close to dying many times, but KB, I never went over to the other side and had some scientists would call it the vision. I'm in the medical field. Some of them will say, well, there's lack of oxygen, hypoxia, lack of oxygen to the brain that causes these visions. But I don't believe that because there are people, millions, or not millions, thousands, hundreds of thousands miles apart that have the same similar experiences. But tell them about your NDE.
Okay.
Yeah, I did have experience. I'm in my 60s right now. This happened while I was maybe 15, 16 years old. I had food poisoning. The doctor gave me some medication. It's no longer on the market. It was called Falfed. And he told me about having a reaction, take a pill, you'll be fine. Well, anyway, that night, I decided to go to my cousin's house, make a fast, spend the night and all that. And, I had a little wheezing in my chest, so my aunt at the time gave me a pill to take. And I took it within 2 or 3 minutes. I was walking down the hall and I fell down, jumped up. Because, you're young, you fall down and out of no reason, you jump back up. So got to the point where I couldn't stand. They took me downstairs to the den and laid me on the couch and they called the ambulance. And when I looked up at the old sun clock was hanging on the wall. The sun clock? A sun clock. Oh, okay. Yeah. And the sun clock was laughing at me. Oh, really? And, and the ambulance eventually showed up. And they asked me, could I walk, being a teenager? I said, yeah, I can walk. Took 2 steps and fell down. So they took me to the hospital. They run me in, put me on the gurney, threw me on the bed the whole 9 yards. My mother, I can never forget it. She was sitting by on the side of the bed. And they told her, look, you got to get up and leave. I remember seeing her getting up, leaving. I was standing in this place. It was pure blackness. I looked to my left. I looked to my right. Looked all behind me. I couldn't see nothing. It was so black. I took my hands and held them up to my side in the air. I looked at them. I couldn't see my hands. But I could see everything in front of me. I could see the doctors. I could see one of the tubes down my throat. The whole 9 yards. But every time I took a step backwards, I had the best, relaxed, comfortable feeling I ever had in my life. And I would take a step back and I would hold my hands up in front of my face. I couldn't see my hands, but I could see everything in front of me. I could see the emergency room, the doctors working on me and all that. And as I was taking a step back, I realized, I said, God, I'm dying. I said, I'm not but 16 years, 17 years old. I don't want to go yet. And every time I would take that step back, I wasn't scared. And if death is anything like it, it's the most peaceful feeling that I've ever had, even to this date. I have not experienced that feeling of death. And but soon as I came around, I was ice cold. I was back on the gurney, and they were working on me. The doctors told my mother that my respiration was fine, my eyes rolled back in the head, my skin was turning blue, so I was basically dead or either dying.
Yeah, you're dying.
And but like I said, I told the doctor after I felt better, everything I saw. He couldn't believe it. That he said I had to be dreaming. It was something. And I said, how could I dream? And I saw you pulling the tubes down my throat. I saw you tell my mother, get up, she's got to go into the other room. And I saw you got to do everything. And so he couldn't explain that. He said, medication. But like I said, if it doesn't do anything like what I experienced, I don't fear death.
Yep.
At one time I kind of welcome it because to this day, like I said, I'm 64. I've never had that experience of peace, serenity, happiness. I knew that I was too young to go, and I wanted to come back, and I came back for a reason. So,
people that have near-death experiences, if it's authentic, it will be easy to understand how real it is because it is a life-changing event. Their perspective on everything will change. It did for me, and it sounds like it did for you.
Oh, it did. Like I said, but that's why people say you don't fear death. No, I don't.
Yeah.
That comfortable and that great of feeling where I was at, hey, this will be great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my understanding.
Yep.
My close calls with death was I could have slipped over at any moment, but like I could have. I might have. I just don't remember it. But yeah, I wasn't afraid of dying. It's just it is what it was, and I'm not afraid of dying either. What's on the other side, it is what it is. And so you guys actually help. I heard you say a few minutes ago, help the spirits on the other side to move over. Before we get there, though, the Bible says hellfire and brimstone. Do you believe that hellfire and brimstone, or do you believe that maybe everybody's hell is different, and that the hellfire and brimstone is only something to get people to wake up and do the right thing?
The answer to that is it's mixed. The Bible does talk about a lake of fire that hell will actually be thrown into. It never really describes hell itself as the lake of fire. It usually talks about hell being, in Revelations, talks about hell being thrown into the lake of fire. In our experience, and I guess this is one of the things that maybe surprised us a little bit. That was one of the things we felt like we had to reconcile, because how can there be ghosts here but being in hell? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And a lot of what we found is exactly what you just said. They really create their own hell. In the Bible, it's referred to as the grave or Sheol. And I think that is probably the state in which most of these spirits are existing in, that are lost, if you will. And in our experience, what they do is they basically create their own reality. Whatever they picture in their mind, they can make. And we've kind of proven that out with several investigations, speaking of these things. But inevitably, when we begin the ministry of the crossing over, whichever term you want to use, we prefer ministry just because our background. When we start that process, there's a truth that cuts through their illusion, and when that happens, one of two things happen. You either get a real anger that you're upsetting the apple cart and you're flipping their boat, you're ruining that illusion that they've built around themselves, or you have the ones that they know they're lost, they know it's not right, and they're hungering for something more real, and those are the ones generally that we have good responses from. But we do get bad responses too. We get across the board.
I was just curious, have you had any that would not move, go over to the other side? And that's the question I want to ask you, because, Ray and I had a guest on our show a few years back with a preacher out of Texas. And he made us a point to us, which is kind of unique. He says, if you got a spirit that's been tortured and had gone through shock treatment, usually when you use shock treatment, it sends a bright light to the brain. And every time this guy would get shocked, his brain would be painful and he would get this bright light. He said, why would he want to go to a spirit and tell this spirit, go to the light? Man, when this spirit was alive and it was in reality as a living human being, he associated that light with pain. So how do you tell a spirit, go to the light? And when he was alive, he associated light with pain.
John, you want to touch that, or you want me to touch it?
You can. That's a very difficult situation to talk about. That's for sure. One, being able to discern that that's what the situation that this individual is in. Could you possibly get that much information out of him that he's scared of the light? Even in our last investigation, we heard them saying, "You're scaring me." There was a lot of hesitation to pass over. So there's a lot of questions that you've asked here. The first, have you encountered spirits that would not want to pass over or come to the cross or cross over, however you want to state it? And the answer is most of the time, actually. A lot of times they choose not to for whatever reason, especially Jack Reel. We've been working on him for years, but that guy will not cross over. But the other part is, dealing with someone who's just scared of that light because of something that happened to them in their life. Dan, if you want to talk a little bit about that portion.
Yeah, I mean, we see that. We had a situation, an investigation where there was a little girl there, or we're not sure how old she actually was, that she literally did not believe herself to be dead. No matter what we did, she wouldn't even admit to the fact that she was dead. She, you would ask her the questions like, well, how do you explain where you are? How do you explain hearing us but not seeing us? And I mean, it was actually really, really heart-wrenching, because maybe if I could break through that illusion she had, maybe we can get somewhere. But it's funny you ask about, do you have people that cross over? I think one of the most important things that I've experienced in that regard is we had, there's a video, the ballroom video.
Yes. Ballroom Doorway to Heaven.
That's it. And in that scenario, we had several people that responded to us and did cross over. And as soon as that happened, the other people that were really adamantly against it, the other spirits that were adamantly against it, started asking, where did the other people go? Where did they go? We don't understand. What happened to them? They left. And they were just completely flabbergasted. But they wouldn't, even in the face of that, they wouldn't believe what we were telling them. So, a sad situation.
These other people, the spirits that you helped cross over, how did these other spirits that couldn't see them, how were they getting that information to you?
At that point, it was the ghost box.
The ghost box. Yeah.
So it's real time. It's a real time thing going on. So.
Okay. Yeah, y'all's ghost box is a lot more in tune than ours. I told you. I was curious how you guys, like I said, being weapons and things of this nature. Ray and I and our team members, we don't exercise spirits. We don't send them back. We don't even exercise ourselves. No, we don't send them back. We don't exercise. Are you afraid that when you do this, that you might have some attached to you because if it's the wrong type of spirit, they might attach themselves to you and go home with you or something like that? Have you had that happen?
Yes. So I'll answer that way first.
What did you do about it?
Yeah, it is a dangerous field, right? There are consequences to doing this job. So if you think that you can go into the night and chase or hunt after those things that are in the darkness, you better be willing to understand that they're going to either follow you or they're going to torment you or try to hurt you. We were flat out told, look, I am not allowed to hurt you, but I can hurt the people that you love. I can hurt your friends and family. And they would demonstrate it. So it's a dangerous business. And, despite the fact that we have a book, we always tell people, we are not basically telling people to go pick up a ghost box and go do this. Understand that there are dangers involved with that. So the answer to your question is emphatically yes. It's dangerous. Spirits can follow you. Myself, when I listened to the ghost box in October of 2013, I turned off the ghost box and it never turned off in my head ever again. To this very day, I still hear spirits because of, the field that I'm in. Here we are. And, for about 6 months there, I was very tormented because every single negative spirit that was around was turned on and I had no way of turning them off. So it's a dangerous field.
So back to my question, how do you turn it off? How did you recognize those demons?
People have to do what works for them, right? So one thing that works for Dave on our team and one thing that works for Patrick on our team or Amy doesn't necessarily work for me, and vice versa, right? So
exactly what I tell people. I tell them how I got.
Yeah, you know, so.
But you got to ask yourself and do your research.
Yes,
yeah, exactly. What helps you?
Right, because you know this is all about faith, right? So the individual, whatever it takes for that person to believe and have the courage to plug into the power that's given to them as a human being, then make it work. So some people got to run around, you know, doing smoke and, you know, whirly birds or whatever, you know, but that's what it takes for them to have enough faith to, you know, to ward off some spirit. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but you know that some people have to do that, where other people have to literally sit down and meditate and pray, and you know, and that's how they ward off these particular spirits. Some people have to carve, you know, masks and put them in their house, and I mean, it's just culture, you know. So it depends. You know, for me, it was a whole lot of prayer, scientific experimenting, a lot of pushback, a lot of growing and learning. I had to learn a lot of things. I had to learn to not just, you know, when I hear somebody who's saying something like, well, you know, Jesus isn't who he says he is, you know, I had to have a response to that that would basically shut them up and allow me to go to sleep at night.
Well, who on your team see entities or ghosts, spirits in broad daylight? Now, Big Ray and I, we've caught more apparitions in broad daylight than we have at night. And my philosophy of Rays is also is that being on television, darkness, people are scared of the talk. Because, you know, the dark, you can't see what's around you. So, you know, most people say, if we're going to do a paranormal investigation, all lights out, got to be total blackness, and we will catch an entity. Big Ray and I have caught more entities in broad daylight, seen more in broad daylight than we ever caught at nighttime. We've got things on our recorders and things of that nature. And Ray's philosophy always has been, be careful what you ask for, because you might get it and get rid of it. And who in your team can actually see spirits in broad daylight? And have you ever had that experience?
Well, I can speak for myself. Dave Henderson, which is a lead investigator on our team as well. He's been with us for quite a while. We were at a investigation, and I'll tell you, this is the only. I'll preface with this: I'm a bit of a skeptic from, you know, a pretty high level. I do believe people sees apparitions, but I'm the one that's always saying that's just a play of light. That's just a play of light. And Dave and I, one night, we were at an investigation at a client's house. She was having some major problems, and they had called us to come out and bless the house and see if we could figure out what was going on. And we are getting ready for a ghost box session out in the front yard. And the house, the way the house was set up, there's 2 levels, and there's stairs right in the front of the house, right where we were, and it was the only way to get to the 2nd level. Sean and I were fiddling with something, and Dave breaks in, and he said he was standing right next to him, and he goes, "Where are the girls?" And we had, at that point, we had the other women of our team. They were actually doing a ghost box session in a bedroom on the bottom level. And I said, "Well, I think they're on the bottom floor. Why?" And he said, "Well, I just saw a woman pass by the window in the upstairs there." And I'm like, "Okay." The lights were on upstairs and everything. And I was like, "Well, let me call." So I called them on the radio and asked, and they said, "No, we're all down in the bedroom." So at this point, and I'm staring and I'm looking up at Dave, and we're just kind of both watching. And as we're just both just as nonchalant as ever, a woman walks right by the window, to the point where you could pick out her hairstyle. You know, and we're just watching her go through the window. And I looked at him, he looked at me, and I said, "No way." So what was funny was Sean was blind. In his ears, he didn't know what was going on. We just run off. He was like, "Where am I going?" And so we ran up the stairs, and nobody was up there. And so that was the only time that I would say I've ever seen an apparition truly. I mean, I've seen shadow play and stuff like that, I would say, but we've had Amy Buchanan. She's one of our investigators and one of our historians as well. She's claimed to see several, and I'm sure Patrick and his side in Maryland as well. They've caught a lot on video. They have some pretty amazing video footage of apparitions. So
we're getting down to about 15, 17 minutes left before we get too far. You guys investigated the Dirty Dancing restaurant bar?
Yeah, Mountain Lake Resort.
Yeah, that's it, Mountain Lake Resort. Tell everybody about that real quick. What happened? What did you get? Is it haunted?
Good, John.
Okay. Yeah, actually, so we were asked to go there, and we had some amazing experiences. We posted a lot of those videos on YouTube. We came to find that it was almost like a mecca. It is the highest point in the area, and spirits just naturally gravitate there for whatever reason. There was a wide variety of reasons. There were several different deaths and all that kind of stuff there. One day, it's changed hands a whole lot. One day we would like to be able to, if they ever get water back in the lake there, to actually do an aquatic ghost box. So that's where you connect the ghost box and then actually go scuba diving with the box while people are above water asking questions. We've actually done that before. But Mountain Lake, they've had several drownings and so forth there, so we'd like to be able to do that. But in our investigation, we ran across several different spirits that were there, and we had interactions. We were able to do some crossing over. There was actually one spirit where, actually, that was a time when we actually heard a door close. We hear a door close in the ghost box, and the team that was on an entirely different floor physically heard the door go close, and they called down and go, "Hey, did you guys hear that?" There was like a door close, and it was at the exact moment that we had heard it on the ghost box. It was very weird. We've had a lot of confirmation through whether it be other devices or audio external responses that correlate right back to what was heard on the ghost box. So that happened at Mountain Lake. Did we connect with Patrick Swayze? No. Did not.
That was my next question. That was right.
The baby is still in the corner.
Yeah, we got about 15 minutes exactly, and
right.
I know some people that are listening out there. They said they want to call in, maybe ask you guys a couple of questions. Maybe we can take one or two calls.
Yeah.
If you want to call in, or I'll tell you what you can do is go ahead and give me a text at area code 804-437. And if you got a question you want to ask them, we can go ahead and give it to them. If anybody else out there, or you can go to our app. You can text them a message or
chat room open.
Yes, our chat room is open. Let me ask you this. You guys in past and things like this. We got a guest coming up on our show probably in the week. And I was talking to her the other day, and she said she's been having these paranormal entities bothering her since she was at a young age. And she went to a psychiatrist or doctor or a psychic or something, and they say that she sometimes has these entities that for some reason they come to her. You believe that some people can attract entities or spirits?
Absolutely, yeah. I kid you not. I mean, like I was saying, to this day, I have spirits that come up to me, and they will say, "I heard that you can help me. Can you help me?" And I always say, "No, I can't help you, but I can tell you about Jesus, who can." And then that conversation either goes very well or goes very bad very fast. So I think that if this is an individual who is having spirits that have been doing the exact same thing, one, she needs to understand that she's got a purpose. Why are these spirits coming to her? Because she's got an answer. She needs to plug into that and start helping these spirits, not just be afraid. The fear is the worst thing that could possibly happen in this situation. You run away from this, and you run away from it for your entire life. You need to face your fears and connect with other people, learn how to respond to them, and act accordingly.
Now, how do you know? I got one question. Okay, sorry. I've got old timers too. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Now I believe if there's good, there's got to be bad. Last week we had a gal on who said that she was attacked sexually. So there are, termed in the paranormal world, incubus and succubus. Do you guys believe in those type of entities as well? And if so, what would you suggest for her to be able to? Because apparently she's still having a negative situation going on there.
Well, I mean, we've experienced, just real fast, I don't want to take a lot of time, but we do run into demons from time to time. We do have the authority to take care of those. We've dealt with demons on multiple occasions. At one of our investigations, a demon referred to himself as a jinn, and which is funny because we were at a cemetery and we weren't up on the jinn lore like we are now, but come to find out that's what they were known for in the Middle East, and that mythology was hanging around graveyards. And so I'm thinking, you might have situations where there may be different types of demons that fall into those kind of classifications. And as far as, helping somebody like that, I mean, it's hard. We have clients who reach out to the church, and the church just flat out ignores them. We had a client that reached out to the Catholic Church, and they said they couldn't help it because they didn't have an exorcist in the area. But
we run into that as well, and it really bites when we tell people, the church preaches will help you, and then
that's right.
Actually, the Catholic Church is one that refuses the most.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. And we run into that too. But good.
It's safe to say that you also you need to be able to make sure that you eliminate all possible causes of the particular situation. So, even in my case, when all of this was happening, I immediately told Dan, I think I'm going crazy, and we need to take certain steps. So I had the MRI done, I had my ears checked, and I flat out asked people, if I'm crazy, just put me down, trying to eliminate all of the possible causes for what was actually happening. And then the real proof in the pudding was doing the full blind process, and that's just plugging my ears, putting ballistics earmuffs on top of that, and then going and doing what we normally do, ask questions, and I just say what it is that I hear, just like I do with the ghost box, but without the ghost box, and do I get the answers? And the answer was yes. So at that point, I started getting the confidence saying, okay, there's something really going on here. And then over time, we realized, okay, there's really something here. I may still be crazy, but at least we know something's going on.
Right. Well, how do you know if, you guys being pastors and all that, being Christians and all that, how would you know if this entity is talking to you through your box, and he's one of the nice entities, so he wants you to believe, and the whole time he's using you in a different way? How do you know that it's not? How do you know that it's not something evil or demons or whatever? Yeah, we've had that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the Bible does give us a little bit of, a demon will never admit Jesus Christ is Lord. That's in the Word, and we've had on several occasions entities that do that. Especially, we really kind of classify it, and everybody does. We have inhuman entities, and we have regular human entities. So we've talked to beings that we would call angelic because they are proclaiming that. Where the demons, they don't at all. And to be honest, once you get into it and you get some experience, you start really kind of finding the clues. We've ran into several human entities that want to come across as demons. And those can actually be more troublesome than demons themselves because they don't heed the authority like the demons do. So, it's a little complicated. But, some of it's experience and some of it's just knowing what questions to ask, really.
Yeah. What do you think about the? We had a text just came in. How do you know, or that's not it? Demons. Do you believe that when demons come around, you have to have their name to expel them, or does the name not really matter?
That is really so neat, because it is highly popular that it is required to understand what that name is to dispel the demon. And I'm going to boldly say it's actually stated the same way. You need to know his name, and I'm going to say you need to know his name. It's about knowing the name of Jesus, not the name of the demon. The name of Jesus Christ will expel demons, flat out.
It works every time.
It works every time on demons.
As long as you got the authority, you
You got it. It's the authority, because if you say, well, I come in the name of Peter, just prepared, you're probably going to get your rear end handed to you.
All right. So Jesus, Yahweh, Jesus.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. That's right.
As long as you know who he is.
That's right. Okay. Cool. All right. Hope that answered their question. Because I never believed that you needed to know the demon's name, because I think there was something about we are legion.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. TV makes it really popular. Tell me your name, and they make it real drama. In reality, it's really not that drama, for one.
It is every once in a while.
We did have the wind kick up on us. We had a demon, and the wind actually kicked up. It was weird, but yeah.
Yeah, like I said, Big Ray and I got a show next week that's be real interesting with this young lady. And like I said, we had a show last week. Our gal, she's been attacked many times, and even to this day, the entity is still around. She sent pictures of different things, and it's scary, but yet I think she's got to the point where she can accept this entity in the house and kind of deal with it. I don't know how I would deal with it, but I guess everybody deals with their scariness in a way like me. My favorite line is, "Feet don't fail me down." And I will run over you, through you, and on top of you.
Yeah, never mind around. We only got like 3 minutes here, and then we got to start shutting it down. Listener that I ran into today about a Harrisburg, she didn't want to give her name or anything, and I know you guys have team members around the country. But the Harrisburg, she said back in the day she was up there. She's in the medical field as well. She was up there doing some work, and she had a boyfriend, and they went out camping outside the Harrisburg city limits, somewhere out there in the country. On an overnighter, they were out doing a little hike, came back, would go sleep in the bed of the truck because it was a beautiful night, the stars were out, that kind of thing. So they had drifted off to sleep, and before getting up the next morning and taking their little hike through the woods again before having to head back to the metropolis of Harrisburg. And they said something woke them up. And I said, well, what was it? She says, well, there was something going around the truck, scratching the truck. She said, they would turn on their light, and they would get up and look over the side of the truck. They thought maybe it was an animal, or worse yet, a human being out there messing with them. She said that it wasn't just a light scratch, it was like digging into the paint scratch. And they would look left, and it would go right, and it would work its way around. So it lasted less than 15 minutes because one of them said, let's get out of here. And they got in the truck and hauled freight and got back down to one of the stores there and got out, checked the truck because they thought, well, maybe whatever it is was hung up under the truck, and they didn't see anything. They checked the truck where they heard the heavy scratching going on for like I was saying 10 to 15 minutes. The truck was not scratched at all. Have y'all heard of anything like that going on up there? And would you have jumped in the truck like KB would have and hauled for town?
I would say.
No, I wouldn't have hauled. I'm one of those crazy people that runs after whatever it was. That's my response.
I would absolutely, I would agree. Yeah. I'm more curious to find out what's going on first. I mean,
Right. That's why I would.
us Virginians carry guns, so you know.
I trip KB and I would take off.
Yeah. But, you know, I tell you what, I want to thank you guys for calling in tonight, and I also want to thank your associate members of the team in Oklahoma, Virginia, West Virginia, and Maryland. And I'm sure they enjoyed the show tonight. And like I said, you guys are fascinating. I wish we had more time. But,
Yeah, we don't.
well, we don't. And like I said, big way now, it's been a joy to have you guys on here with us.
Thanks for sending us the book. Very good book. It's a good read. And tell everybody what the title is and where they can get it.
Yeah, it's the Double Blind Ghost Box by Sean Taylor and Dan Morgan. You can get it on Amazon or Google. You can also go to thedoubleblindghostbox.com and you can order the book that way. Or you can find us on YouTube. Just search up SuperNatural Media and you'll find us there.
Michigan has some good videos there. We did watch several of them, and it was good and entertaining, and we'll watch more. So we appreciate, like KB said, you guys coming on with us this evening. I had a good time. The hour went by really too fast.
And do you have a website where people can go check you out and get in contact with you?
Yeah, it's supernatural-media.com.
All right.
Naturalmedia-.com. Yeah, supernatural-media.com. All right. So, and you can go to our website. We'll have a link up on there as well to go see you guys and catch up with you. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, guys. We're going to have to shut it down here. Old producer back there is giving us the cut sign. Calvin's on it. That's right. So y'all hang on for a few minutes. KB and I'll be back next Friday night at 10 o'clock. Same time?
Same time.
All right. Let's go check on Delbert and
I take it to the hospital.
see. All right. Y'all take care. I'm Big Ray. I'm KB. And we are out of here.
Thank you. See ya.